Welcome back. It's a House and party divided. Infighting among House Republicans took a sharp turn today after Speaker Johnson said he would push for a weekend vote on a series of foreign aid bills that some GOP members are fiercely against. In fact, a group of hardliners approached Speaker Johnson on the floor this morning, arguing for an Israel-only aid bill. And what was described to NBC News as a peaceful debate pivoted to name-calling and ended in even more threats to oust Speaker Johnson. In fact, Congressman Matt Gaetz called the behavior, quote, unhinged. Joining us now, NBC News congressional correspondent Julie Surkin. What more do we know about this tense exchange, Julie?
Yeah, Anna, I was outside of the House chamber while this was all happening in the back corner of the House floor, unfortunately, where cameras could not track it all. But I saw it unfold before my eyes. It was a little bit confusing. Everybody sort of huddling around Mike Johnson, those hardliners, many of them members of the conservative House Freedom Caucus, trying to pressure Johnson not to put aid to Ukraine on the floor unless he has assurances that the Senate would take up and vote on the conservative House border bill known as H.R. 2. This is something for months now that Democrats from the White House to the Senate have telegraphed they would never do. And this is also something Johnson strongly pushed back on, saying Ukraine aid is important to this country's national security. Here's Marjorie Taylor Greene, though, earlier saying that she defends her move to oust Speaker Johnson. Watch.
The Republican speaker is hinging his entire ability to stay speaker on sending $60 billion more to Ukraine. I can't think of a worse betrayal ever to happen in United States history. And here's what's really ironic. The constitutional attorney, Mike Johnson, is literally betraying the American people in order to keep his grip of power on the speakership.
So, look, there was some confusion over what happened there directly, but the bottom line here is, having talked to lawmakers who were in that huddle over the last couple of hours, Anna, they said that a lot of them did not want to go forward with the motion to vacate, even though they were frustrated and, in the words of Matt Gaetz, increasingly disappointed with Speaker Johnson's leadership on this issue. A lot of moderate Republicans, though, and Democrats vowing to prop Johnson up if he puts aid to Ukraine on the floor, but we still don't know if that is going to happen for sure, Anna.
Okay, so just to understand fully where we are right now, we have conservative Republicans who want an Israel aid only bill, and that means Democrats would have to get behind for this aid package to pass, right? Does that just deepen the threat Johnson would be facing then with members of his party moving to strip him of his speakership?
It does and it doesn't. Certainly you have conservatives who see this move, right, putting these individual bills on the floor, but then in theory packaging them all up at the end and sending them over to the Senate, basically creating one large supplemental bill similar to the one that the Senate passed months ago. They don't want that to happen. But then, of course, you have Democrats and Republicans who do want to take these individual votes. You're right to point out that many House Democrats have actually soured on aid to Israel. So you have all of these competing factions. And certainly for Johnson, again, putting that aid to Ukraine on the floor is very important, because while it might threaten his speakership, it also might save it. I spoke to many moderate Democrats over the last several months who said, listen, Johnson is not a Kevin McCarthy. He works with us. We might not agree with his policies and his views, but they are ready, at least some of them, to go out on a limb to save him. That being said, though, Democrats behind the scenes, Democratic leadership, are still telling their members to keep the powder close to their vest, because they don't want to overstate and overplay some of the chaos that is going on within the Republican Party here, Anna.
All right, Julie Surkin, thank you. Please keep us posted.
Hey, everyone. MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.